The 10th head coach in Florida State baseball history, Link Jarrett. I'm laying here with the new coach. What's it been like since your season ended, making the decision to come to Florida State and finally being here in Tallahassee?
Well, when you wrap it up in Omaha last Tuesday, there were thoughts of what could happen here. I can't say enough about what those guys did at Notre Dame to endure really two remarkable postseason runs. To come back here and try to build the program and win a national championship. Like, the team's not far away. They had a good team. To finish that off for me, personally and professionally, would mean everything. And my parents are here, my wife's parents are here, so to have the ability to be in town with them versus some of the other places we've distantly coached from, that's an important piece of this as well. I'll meet with our team at 2:30, and I'll touch on some of the expectations we have, but this is a moment I'll never forget today.
The reasons why seem fairly simple on the outside, being from Tallahassee, playing at Florida State. Was it really that simple, or was there a lot more that went into it?
It was that simple. It checked so many boxes, and when I look back at my pathway here, there was discussion of this years ago, and I was meant to be the coach at Notre Dame. This is the greatest things that's ever happened to myself and my family, and being around Jack Swarbrick and Jody and Father Jenkins and those kids, the way they work at their craft and their academics. I'm a better person for having been at Notre Dame, and that was meant to be. And Junior was meant to be the coach here, and it worked out. Like, I think where everybody got the chance to coach where they belonged for a period of time, and I was surprised when this happened, but I'm very fortunate to be here, and I want to put my stamp on this and try to mold it into what I think it needs to be.
Speaking of your stamp, you mentioned it in your press conference. Can you discuss more your philosophy and what makes a successful baseball team?
Well, I touched on it with some of the guys earlier in the pitchability piece and having the arms to handle the start of games, and then have enough variety and horsepower in the bullpen to get out of some messes that ultimately do come up in the middle and late parts of the game. It starts there. Can you back up the pitchers with athletic defenders that can minimize opportunities for the other team? Do your outfielders have extra base hit robbing capabilities? Can you turn double plays? Can you make the above average play with some consistency? It starts there. If you can do those things, not always easy, you can build it and do it, you should be in a position to win a lot of games. Then offensively, you have to be creative. I think the athleticism, hopefully we have defensively, when you look at the guys on the field, then meshes its way onto the offensive side, so you can run the bases at a high level, and you have enough strength where you do have extra base hit threats in the lineup that can actually produce those for you. And then the bunting game, there's always going to be a place in baseball for that. So then managing what seems to be needed at that time offensively to push the team over the top to win, that's what we're going to do.
What's priority number one now for you as head coach?
We have to solidify the staff, and these things are tough. This is Division I athletics at the highest level, and I have to have people that I'm comfortable with, that have the same ideas and values that I do and what it takes to build the program. And I'm not there yet, but I'm getting close. And these guys work very hard here. I mean, they built a good team, and there's good recruits coming, and I recognize the work that Meat did, and Metcalf and Bellinger. They worked very hard, and some of those young guys will be a huge part of the team this year, and then the future classes as I address, like, we need to honor those guys, and I want them to understand what we're trying to do and stick with us.
Finally, you were part of some incredibly talented teams here at Florida State. Do you have a favorite on-field memory of your time playing?
I think Friday night in 1994 when we beat LSU, I don't remember a lot of the games. I remember that game for some reason. I had one goal when we went out there, and I was a senior, so I felt more responsible for it as a senior than I did in my other 2 trips to Omaha as a player, because you're now the oldest guy. That game stands out. Paul Wilson was electric. Like, we figured something out offensively. I think they were actually giving away off-speed pitches defensively, and we figured it out. Scored 5 or 6 runs in the late middle innings of the game, and we won. And that feeling of that first night in Omaha, winning that first game, we just played a beautiful game. And I do remember that. And then seeing Jack and McKelly Bertoldi, Jack Niles, it's the teammate part of it that I think stands out to me as much as one game. It's how close you are with those guys and what it felt like in the locker room and after those many big wins. The LSU one clearly stands out.
There you have it, Seminole fans. We'll have much more with Link Jarrett as the months go on. But for now, make sure you get on Seminoles.com, renew those season tickets, and get out and support your Noles. That'll wrap up things for now. For Link Jarrett, I'm Lane Hurt. Go Noles.